I've seen a few people making these Valheim troll cave hideaways, and I really wanted to try my hand at one as well. So this is my little walkthrough on how I made my troll cave build. You start by finding a troll cave in the middle of the Black Forest. I thought this one looked pretty good, and I wanted to start us off with some flooring, so I'm gonna go with the stone flooring on this one. And I will skip ahead here so you don't need to watch me put in this entire floor. But once you have your floor in, you'll want to add some steps so then you don't have that sharp ledge to get up on every time. And we're going to stick with the Black Forest aesthetic here. So I'll be using core wood to make this front wall. Lucky for me, the walls and top of the cave will act as my walls and ceiling of my little base or fort or whatever you want to call it. We want kind of a log cabin aesthetic, and I'm going to leave a spot for a window here that I'll add in later. Now that I have my walls up, I'm going to add in a window. So you can do this using crystal wall. This can be found in the mountain caves. And this would not be complete without a door. So let's work on making a little entryway into this. Nothing's complete without entryway lighting, of course. And for the entryway itself, we're going to put some log beams up at the top here just to keep that uniform look. And I'm going to add in some cool details. These darkwood arches can be made with wood and tar. You can collect tar in any plains biome from the tar pits. And I think we're actually going to knock out these two core wood pieces here and replace them with some dark wood poles just to make that look a little more crisp. Okay, and there's the entryway. Now we can start by decorating the interior. So I'm going to use ashwood walls to close off the back of this cave. Ashwood walls can be found in the Ashlands biome. But if you're not that far into the game yet, you can also use literally any kind of wood to make a wall. So this is all about making it your own. And I would say that's about it for the structural pieces. So let's continue on by adding in my bed. I'm going to make a little stand for this just so it's a little above ground level and not just sitting on the floor in here. I'm going to do this with half walls and some ashwood flooring. And we'll use the ashwood bed just to keep with the theme. Askavan rug. These can also be found in the Ashlands. And I wasn't gonna do this, but I was thinking more and more about it, and I want to have a fireplace in here because if you have a bed, you can't really sleep unless you have a fire nearby. So I'll just show you how you can add a fireplace into something like this. So we'll stick with that core wood aesthetic again. And I'm gonna make this pretty ultra simplistic. Of course, I'm on an Xbox, so some of this building is an absolute pain, but we are trying our best, so bear with me here. Okay, here is my chimney-like structure. So we'll want to add on a little bit of a front just so we don't have a ton of smoke coming into our room. And we're going to be adding in the iron pit. Perfect. Now you may notice that I don't have any ventilation in here. I will show you in a little bit how you can go about that, because if you see here, I do have fuel in my fire, but the fire is out. So what you can do is knock out this window here, and that might give us enough ventilation, but we'll check back on it in a little bit. Looks like it's lit for the time being. So while that's lit, I'm going to add a side table. And if you look at the fire, of course it is out again. So we'll fix that in a second here too. But let me finish my side table first. So I'm just going to be using a barrel and then a very small 1x1 piece of ashwood floor. Of course you cannot connect it to the barrel because that would be too easy. So we're just going to hang it off the side of our little wall that we have here. Add a lava lantern. And let's add some lighting too while we're at it. That should be good. Okay, back to the fireplace now. So a very, very simple fix for this is you can just use a piece of roofing. I'm going to be using the 26-degree angle roof, and we can just toss it on in there. That should redirect the smoke enough where your fire will now stay lit. There we go. So we're going to be using that window piece now, unfortunately, as a little chimney, but it's still cute, so it's fine. I'm going to add a deer above my fireplace eventually to go with our Black Forest theme. And now it's just decoration time. Everything else looks good and structurally sound. This is going to be more of a aesthetic build, not so much a working build. This will be a good place to come back to or mark if you need some place to raise your comfort level very briefly or sleep through a night. Maybe you throw a portal in here or something. I'm not going to just because I honestly don't feel like it. And we'll add a few more details to this. These personal chests are pretty cool. I would highly recommend them if you are playing with a bunch of people, because whoever builds the chest is the only person that can get into it. So it's really good for storing items that you don't want your group messing around with. These small green pots, or pots in general, it doesn't have to be the small version, they also hold a few items if you interact with them. I'm gonna put up one more banner here in the corner. And let's just hang my staffs up for the time being too, so there's something on the wall and it's not so bare. Alright, final details. Let's do a few candles. Make this look a little more mysterious. Of course, you can't put anything on top of the barrels. Very annoying. And we'll just put it on the ground next to it, it's fine. Okay. Now that the inside is done, let's look at the outside. I'm going to cultivate the lawn and put some ivy down on either side of this. Ivy does need stuff to grow up, so I don't know that this will grow super high, but whatever. I'm going to make a few planters in the front also and put some onion seeds out there. We're just going to keep this super simple by using a few pieces of core wood. There we go. Alright, and for my porch, let's do a core wood stack right here, kind of near our fire pit. And no build is complete without a cute front porch, so let's put a barrel and a little chair out. And last but not least, a rabbit hair rug. Cool, there we go. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you like and subscribe. I make videos every Monday. Thanks so much for watching.